What's good, YouTube? Andre Padilla back in the building once again with another video here. Now, I have a surprise. I'm happy. As you can see behind me, 1 and 2, both of my cars have finally arrived here in Puerto Rico. Took a while to get here. Finally arrived. Finally got them through the port. And finally arrived here in Bayamon. With this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go over the details, how much it costs for me to get it from Maryland all the way here to Puerto Rico. Hopefully this helps anyone in the future who's thinking about bringing a car here to the island. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more content coming here from Puerto Rico. You guys stay tuned. Let's go inside. It's really hot and really sunny today. There's a lot of noise out here, so let's go inside and we'll talk about the details. Let's go. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Had to come inside. It was super hot today. I'm here in the living room, relaxing. Got my high quality H2O. We're gonna talk about getting my vehicles here. Some of the questions family members and other people that I know that are coming to the island have asked me, what do they do with the cars? What do they do with their stuff? So this particular video is going to be specifically on how the process of what I had to go through to bring both of my vehicles from Maryland to the island, and I'm going to go over the process and dollar amount, and I'll also link up, put the contact information for the companies that helped me get it here, so that if you guys want to use them, more the merrier. It's not this video isn't sponsored by them in any way. It's just want to make sure you guys get as much information as possible. I do have some notes here, so you see me looking down, just looking at my notes. So I didn't want to make sure I get you guys all the right information. Okay. So without further ado, like I said, I'm coming from Maryland. Me and my family, we moved here from Maryland. We had just purchased vehicles. So I have a 2019 Chrysler 300 and a 2019 Nissan Rogue. The 300 is not even, maybe a year and a half old, and the Rogue is not even a year old yet. So selling them in Maryland and coming down to Puerto Rico and buying new cars just wasn't an option. It would have probably cost us even more money than what it is that we paid for to bring these cars there. Now keep in mind, there's, I'm sure, other companies that can do it. This is just who I decided to go with, and these are the numbers that I had. So most companies that, when I was doing my research, they offer 2 services to bring your cars from Puerto Rico. One, you can go port to port, which is they'll pick it up from a specific port in the U.S. and ship it to San Juan, or they can come pick it up from your house, depending on where you are. So when I was doing my research, on average, the door to port was approximately running almost $1,800 to $2,000, and that's just the transport, okay? And that was a lot, and I was like, I really didn't want to pay that much money. So I was able to find a company down here that had a contract that would do from port to port. So my port was Jacksonville, Florida, and we'll go from port to port, and it was just shy of $1,000. Now keep in mind, there's really, at least from my knowledge, I could be wrong, there's only 2 major haulers from cars from the mainland to Puerto Rico, and that's Crowley and Trailer Bridge. This company that I was working with had a contract with Crowley, so they, my cars were actually shipped on a Crowley vessel, but they had a specific pricing with them that was a lot cheaper than directly going through Crowley. I think Crowley went at about $1,500 per car, and I paid just shy of $1,000 per car with this other company. So I had to get to Jacksonville. So how did we get to Jacksonville? So here's how it started. From Maryland, we're very close to the Virginia border. And so Amtrak offers a service called the Auto Train. And the way it works is from Virginia all the way to Sanford, Florida, which is just north of Orlando. You can take a train with your car all the way down nonstop, and it's overnight. And that was perfect. Number one, I wasn't trying to drive all the way down to Jacksonville just to get my, to get to the port, but I had to figure out somehow how to do it. So that service was clutch. I think from my house when I was living in Maryland to the train station in Lawrence, Virginia was maybe like 30, 40 minutes. Not bad at all. It was great. And obviously this is all in the midst of moving during this whole coronavirus pandemic that we're still going through right now. So when you're booking your Amtrak tickets, you have the option to just get a regular seat, or you can book different levels of different rooms that they have. I did book their top level room, which is I think they call their family or superliner bedroom. That with the cost of the car. So the car alone is $200 to get on the Amtrak train, and then you have to pay for your ticket on the room. I think the room was another $500 or $490, something like that. All in all, it was about $700 to take that train. Now, obviously, it would have been a lot cheaper had I just taken a seat, a regular seat, and just did that. But it was, didn't want to be around a lot of people. Plus, it's an overnight trip. So I wanted to have a little bit of space. I wanted to be able to sleep and, spread out and things of that nature. So it was worth the money. It was definitely worth the money to spend. If you guys ever get a chance to take the auto train, take it. It's an experience that I probably never had. It's my first and only time ever taking Amtrak. And I was very pleased with the ride and the customer service. I had top-notch customer service while I was there during my ride. It is an overnight flight. An overnight ride. So I arrived in Florida around 9 a.m. And when you arrive, you wait for your car to be unloaded, and you get in your car and you go. When I arrived in Florida, I arrived the day before. So my car was scheduled to be dropped off on a Monday. I arrived Sunday. So I drove to Jacksonville and I stayed in a hotel there. And then the following day, I went ahead and dropped off my car at the Crowley, port or office that they have down there. So now, keep in mind, these cars that I do have are loaned. There's still loans on these cars. So one of the major hiccups that I had was that Crowley requires a letter from the bank stating that you're okay. They're okay with you shipping the cars out. One of the banks, no problem. Got it literally. I timed it. Literally had the letter in my email in 7 minutes. The other bank. I'm not putting any names out there because I'm not not trying to speak ill on anything on anyone or any company or whatever. But it literally took me a month, 1 month to get this letter. And the only reason I got the letter literally an hour before I was supposed to drop off to Crowley. Literally 1 hour before I'm dropping off is when I get the letter. Now I get it. We're in the midst of a pandemic and all that, but I gave this bank ample time. I did all the paperwork they requested, and it was so many issues, so many running around. So just keep that in mind if you guys do plan on shipping cars with Crowley, and these cars have loans on them, they have a lien on them, make sure you get that letter ahead of time, way in advance so that you guys have it, and then, so that you have no problems in the future. But anyway, Monday, I dropped off my car. At the time, Crowley was requiring a 72-hour hold on the cars, so the car sat in Crowley for 3 days. 3 days. So, 4 days. Yeah, can't do my math right. While I guess to disinfect or whatever case might be, they require that the car sit there for 4 hours. For 4 days, and then it would be on the boat. So I dropped it off Monday. It was on the boat Friday. Okay. I brought the Chrysler first. Okay. So let's recap. I took from Maryland to Florida. I took the Amtrak Auto Train, and then from when I got here, I drove to Jacksonville, which is about another hour and a half north from the train station, and then I dropped it off at Crowley, and then I flew to Puerto Rico. I was here. I had a rental car until I got here. Car arrived, and people at the port, told me, here's how much you have to pay for taxes, excise taxes. So one thing I knew I was going to have to pay for was taxes on the vehicles that we're bringing in. Now, I'm going to let you know these numbers are extremely high. And some people are saying, well, why was it worth it in the first place? Just keep in mind my thought process. If I was to sell these brand new vehicles in Maryland, I would have done it for a loss. So I probably would have had to come out of pocket cash right there. Plus, I would have to buy new cars here. Okay, and this is a 2-vehicle house. I need 2 vehicles. So it probably would have came out to the same, if not even more money. But so when the Chrysler arrived, I had to pay, let me make sure I get my numbers right here. The Chrysler was $5,500. That's how much the taxes were. Like crazy numbers that they have here for these vehicles. It's insane, the amount of money. But you know, I have a choice. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to, this is where you want to live. And bring your cars. This is what you got to do, right? So, just crazy numbers. $4,500 for the Chrysler 300. And it was a 2019, so it was fairly new. They valued that car almost $40,000. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, that car's not worth $40,000. It wasn't. I didn't even pay $40,000 brand new, let alone used. Now the Hacienda, which is the department that takes all the payments, they have an online portal that I'll put a link in the description where you can go in and check to see, put your VIN number, see more or less how much your car will cost to bring in, and that tax is part of it. Okay. Here's where the funny stuff began, and what really grinded my gears, for lack of a better word. The day that I submitted my payment, I paid with my credit card. I was like, look, if I'm going to spend all this money, I might as well get some points out of it or something like that. So I swiped my credit card, paid it, no problem. That was the morning of. Now, with this company, normally the way it works is when you go to the port, once you pay, you have to go to Crowley. They give you, you have to go through a couple different steps, a couple different offices, and get clearances and check marks of everything in order to get your car. Reason I went through this company, and I did pay a little bit of a premium, was that they did all of that for me. I didn't have to do anything. When the car arrived, they handled all the logistics, all the paperwork. They called me when the car was here and it was, ready to pick it up. They had the keys in hand. So they called me up, say, hey, I gotta come down to make the payment. No problem. It was the morning of. They tell me it's gonna be a few hours. Just go ahead and go. We'll call you once we have the car. A few hours starts by, mind you, I paid this at like 9 in the morning, right? A few hours goes by, nothing. Like 2 in the afternoon, I'm like, what? I haven't heard from these people yet. As soon as I'm about to call them, my phone rings. I'm like, all right, thank God, the car's got to be ready now, right? Wrong. I'm called. They call me and say, look, there's an issue with the system. Hacienda hasn't released the paperwork. The premium's about to close at 3. It doesn't look like you're gonna get the car today. But as soon as they fix it, we'll let you know. The issues with Hacienda, not us. We've done everything we were supposed to do, but they haven't sent us the paperwork for the all clear. Okay, so one day, cool. I'm not too upset, but hey, I just gave Hacienda $5,500. I'm a little upset, but yeah, I can deal with it another day. Sure, no problem. They give me a call in the morning saying, hey, we're working on it. As soon as we get it, call you. A couple hours goes by. Next thing you know, it's in the afternoon. Like, I haven't heard anything. No, we haven't figured it out. Still haven't figured it out. They're still working on their system. Okay, one day turns into 2 days. 2 days turns into 5 days. Now, mind you, Crowley, after 5, only gives you 5 days to pick up the car. And after that, they charge you a fee, a storage fee, because the car's been sitting there. So it's like, now I gotta pay Crowley because Hacienda is messing up. And of course, Hacienda's not gonna give me any money. I gotta pay Crowley. I think it was like $12 or something like that. So it's not a lot, but it's something. I still have to give them money, right? So on the 5th day, I was fed up. I didn't even call them. I got to their office at 9 o'clock in the morning when these people opened. Now their office is at the port. And I said, I'm not leaving here without my car. I need it. I can't keep paying for a rental car, number one. I'm still paying for a rental. Okay. And number two, it's just, so many issues going on. I need the car. Okay. The car can't sit here any longer. Got there at 9. They're doing their thing. They're making calls. 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 5th day. 1 o'clock, they finally hand me the keys. What was the issue? So Hacienda's credit card processing system went down. So it took payments, but it was not registering on the other side that had taken the payments. So it was showing in my system that they had not collected money, but I had proof on my end. I had to send proof multiple times that I had paid, some, screenshots of my credit card statement, things like that I had paid. So all in all, it took me almost 5.5 days to get the car out. More than that, to get the car out of the lot in Crowley. And that was frustrating, but I got it out. Obviously, you guys saw the car earlier in the beginning of the video, so we finally got it out. Fast forward 2 weeks. My wife is coming down now. It's her turn to come down from Maryland to Florida and go through the same process. So they take the auto train down. That's another $700. She drops the car off at Crowley. That's another $1,000. To ship the Nissan from Crowley to San Juan. Now, here's the difference though. From San Juan, when that car gets here, I don't pay with my credit card. I pay with my checking account. So they did, give my account number, the routing number, and they paid it, and I got my car out same day, no problem, no question asked. So obviously the issue wasn't they didn't want to give me the car in the first place, was because their system had crashed for whatever reason or another. No one ever gave me an explanation. Excuse me. So, with that being said, the Rogue went through the same, pretty much exact process. But when it got here, it was a lot easier to get out. I got it out, I think, the following day that it arrived. The Rogue in taxes, let me make sure I got my number here, was $4,500. So here, the Chrysler was $5,500 and the Rogue was $4,500. Right there alone, it's 10 grand. 10 grand. Like, 10 grand in taxes, let alone the other cost to get it from Maryland to here. It was ridiculous. But again, in my thought process, I probably would have spent more than that trying to sell the cars in Maryland, coming down to Puerto Rico and buying new cars here. So that's why we decided just to ship the cars in here. Plus, we had maintained these cars. We knew these cars were reliable cars. We weren't having any issues with them whatsoever. So, for us, it was just the right thing to do. So all in all, it took a few weeks. It took about a month to get all these cars here from start to finish, month and a week. But they finally made it. Shout out to Unlimited Services who really helped me out. They have an office right at the port, and I'll put their information in the description below, their contact information. As for Jeanette, she is amazing. She went above and beyond. Some of the other services that they do, they're still doing for me. They also do the tags and registration. So obviously the cost would depend on the car. I think for my cars was like $150 a piece. So obviously it's a little bit higher than going to Cesco and whatnot, been doing it yourself, but I don't know the process. And from what I read, it's still a multi-step and multi-location process to get the tags and registration done. I work every day. I don't have time to really go through all that, and so I'm willing to pay a little bit extra, and so to get it done, that's something that they're working on now. Cesco just opened this week. So hopefully within the next few days, I'll have these cars, registered and tagged. And in the follow-up video, we'll go through the Marbeta process, the insurance stuff, and how that worked here, and how we transferred everything over. So that'll be in another video, and a follow-up video to this here. But yeah, shout out to them. They were amazing. So let's get a quick recap. How much this thing cost me? Okay, so I'm gonna read this down. I'm gonna read from my notes here because, it's quite a bit. So the Amtrak from start to finish, 2 times, because my wife took one train and then I took one train. That's $1,400 in total, $700 each. Okay, so I have 14. The cars to ship it, plus paying the premium for for this. The car ownership was just shy of 1,000, it's like 975. So let's just round it up to 1,000. Each car, that's 2,000. Plus, I paid a premium for the company to go through and handle all the logistics with Crowley, so I didn't have to do anything. That was an additional $100 each. So now I'm at $2,200 with the $1,400. That's $3,600. Just to get here. I'm at $3,600. Then taxes. So like I said earlier, on the Chrysler, for the 2019 Chrysler 300, we paid $5,500 in taxes. For the 2019 Nissan Rogue, we paid $4,500 in taxes. Okay, so that's 10 grand. So right now we're at 13,600, give or take a few miscellaneous fees. It's almost 14 grand it cost us to ship those cars here. Was it worth it? I think it was. But who knows? I could have probably sold the cars, paid whatever the loss was, and bought new cars here. Maybe bought, just some used cars and see how that may have worked out. Who knows? But this is what we decided to do. Overall, it was a great experience, except for that, little hiccup with Hacienda with the first car paying the taxes and whatnot. But other than that, we had overall, it was a great experience bringing these cars here. Unlimited Services did an amazing job with us. The communication with them was amazing. That's one of the things Puerto Rico lacks is systems, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that we're used to and accustomed to in the mainland with internet systems and websites and communication in a variety of different manners, being being available. I guess I can't pronounce that word today. Being available to everybody. Puerto Rico, not so much. A lot of places don't have websites. A lot of places, may or may not have a Facebook page or Instagram page or something like that. And there's a lot of, communication over the phone, email. Unlimited Services was fantastic when it came to communication. A lot of it was done over the phone and email, which in these times with the pandemic going on, it was great not to have to go to the office every 5 minutes to answer a question for them or for them to have to reach out to me or anything like that. So it was phenomenal. Like I said, I'll put their information in the description below. 14 grand. That's what it cost me. You guys tell me if you think it was worth it, or should I just sold my cars and figured out something when I got here. 14 grand. That's how much it cost me to bring these cars down here. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully this helps out anybody who's thinking about coming to the island and shipping a car. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. This channel is going to have so much content from the island and a different perspective, different views from, not so, we're going to have some tourist stuff. We're going to have some non-touristy stuff. We're going to be visiting some places that you don't normally see on these videos. Stay tuned. Like I said, if you guys have any questions below, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button too. Please help me out. You'll really greatly appreciate it. But until the next time, talk to you guys later. Deuces.